UEFA Europa League, where we've got probably the biggest game of the week, I would say. I was going to say between Barcelona and Manchester United, two teams in very, very, very good form at this moment in time. I mean, Barcelona, they look like they're playing the old way of playing for under like Pep Guardiola. I mean, Xavi's got them playing some nice football. Had a good win at the weekend. I mean, okay, it was only a 1-0 victory. At the weekend again, goal scorer by Pedri. What we ranted and raved about him on Thursday night last week. He's some player, isn't he, King?
Yeah, this is going to be. I mean, we've got other fixtures this week as well, like PSG, Bayern. It's nothing to shy about, but this is the one that I think most people are talking about. And this is the thing, really. How strong is the UEFA Cup becoming when
Exactly.
the game of the week is in the UEFA Cup? This is what the competitions was made for. This is why I'm a bit against the structure changes in 2024, because you're not going to get these big teams drop down from the Champions League and playing. You're going to lose out on these games, but that's a story for another day. Both teams, like you say, are in very good form in the league, which is it's something to be said about their earlier season form, because I think Man U should have won their group really with the teams that they had. I know that they finished on level points and stuff, and it was down to head. But I do think they should have been winning their group. I do think as well Barcelona should have been finishing second in their group, because Inter Milan, I know they're a good side, but they're not the same side as they was last season. I don't know what to say about this one. I really don't. I think Man U have got pretty much a full team, haven't they? I think
virtually, yeah. I think they've made. I don't know. Is Sabitzer in this European squad, because he isn't. He was at Leipzig, wasn't he? Did he play in the Europa League for Leipzig?
He was at Bayern Munich.
Oh, was he Bayern Munich? Oh, so I saw he was at Bayern Munich, so he's dropped down. So he I think he probably will be. So because obviously they've got Casemiro coming back, which is a massive plus for Manchester United, because we've seen at the weekend that they didn't look as fluent without him at the weekend there. So he'll add a bit of grit. Plus, obviously being an ex-Real Madrid player, he's going to get a nice reception when he goes back to the new camp on Thursday night.
Definitely. I feel like both teams are pretty much injury-free, as far as I'm aware from my sources. I think this one is going to be a close game. I think it's going to be very entertaining. I think there will be goals. But I think with Barcelona being at home, I'd say that they're probably edge it because of being at home.
See, I'm going to sit in the fence on this one. I'm going to say it's going to be a draw, because it's too, like you said, I think both teams are going to cancel each other out, I think. But going on Barcelona's form at home, or should I say in the league just now, they've only lost one game. That was the Real Madrid back in October. So they're grinding out results when they need to be. But Man United are a different kettle of fish just now. They're playing. I mean, how do they cope with Rashford? How do they cope with Weghorst as well? I mean, it's completely different to what Barcelona players are used to playing against. So I think it could be a draw this game, and it takes back to Old Trafford.
I don't know if I'm correct because I missed the game, but I heard that Man U actually rotated on Sunday to play Leeds. They played Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw at the back instead of Varane and what's that. So obviously Ten Hag's looking at this fixture, and he knows this is a big fixture.
Yep.
So it's going to be a good game. It's going to be, I think, a close game. I don't think one side will run away with it. But it looks like a cracker. It's being billed as it anyway, isn't it? So.
And you can watch along with us on Thursday night as Jono and Boom, Crazy Boom, are going to do a live watch along for this game. I think coverage starts at 5:30 on YouTube and Twitter, and Facebook and Twitch. So if you're not subscribed, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, give us a like on Facebook, and give us a follow on Twitch as well. So another interesting game, a club that you and myself talked about extensively on Thursday night, Ajax versus Union Berlin. What a story it is for Union Berlin. Playing probably one of the biggest teams in European football in Ajax, and probably the favourites, you've got to say, for this game because of Ajax's current form. I mean, in Berlin, they're going from strength to strength as well. So how do you see this one going, King?
I think this is actually going to be tighter than people may think. I think, all right, Ajax have picked it up a bit lately, but they're not in their league table. I don't think they're not where they should be. Do you know what I mean? Normally, Ajax are like running away with the league. They're 3 points off the top. I think they've struggled to transition from losing Ten Hag and losing over not just this year, but for the last 4 or 5 years, they've lost big players.
Yeah,
and obviously it's going to happen. But I think they're coming back. They're hitting their form. But Union Berlin as well, they're no slouches. They're playing probably what you'd say is a better league than the Eredivisie, and they're second. And they've only lost one in the last 6 or 7 games. They're 1 point behind Bayern Munich. So they're no slouches. They did finish second in their group. So that's probably a bit worrying. But
yeah,
I think it's going to be tight. I think the home team may nick it by 1, but if not, maybe a draw.
I mean, you look at how can Union Berlin take the league form into Europe, because like you said, they've been playing fantastic football in the Bundesliga. It's just how they transition from that league form into a European competition, because it is, I mean, like it's a step up, if you will, against a European giant in Ajax, even though they're not as big as they once were. As you said, they lost players like Martinez. Obviously, Ten Hag's a massive loss from them as well. So I think Union Berlin just sneak this one 2-1 to Union Berlin.
Yeah, I think both sides could pinch it 2-1, or it could be like a 1-1 or something. I don't see a lot of goals being in there. I couldn't find any injury news about them. I think the site that I've been using, if it doesn't say anything, normally there isn't none. So I'm going to go with the fact that there might not be many injuries.
I've got a few injuries. So Kaplan, not too sure if he's a main player. We've got Steven Bergwijn. He's doubtful for Thursday night's game. And you got Yuri Bass as well, the young left back for Ajax. He's also injured. He's doubtful for Thursday night. And Kaplan, he's a centre back. He's been playing quite a few times for Ajax. He's also doubtful. For Union Berlin, you've got André Schaefer. He's injured. He's out until late February. You've got Christopher Trimmel, who is suspended, and so is Yannick Haber. Habera, he's also suspended, and Jakob Busk, he is out with a cold on the Thursday night. So I don't know how a cold can keep you out, but come on.
We had this conversation, I think, in my Discord the other day. Declan Rice on Saturday played a game with a virus. He had to have a fitness test, and then he give out an award at the Brits on the night, even though he came down with an illness. This lad can't even play with a cold.
The game's gone. The game's gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this one's good. I think it's could be a tasty game on Thursday night. So, but yeah, I think they've only played one match before, and that was a pre-season friendly 3 years ago. They drew 2 each. So
I definitely think there could be goals in it.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be quite tight.
It should be a good game. quickly moving on to our penultimate game of the week, Sevilla versus PSV. Again, Sevilla absolutely rank rotten at this moment in time in the Spanish league. They have been very, very poor. They are, they're sitting 12th in La Liga now.
They have had a couple of wins recently. I think the last 6 games they might have won 4, lost 2, or something like that.
They won at the weekend against Cadiz with a last-minute penalty from Ivan Rakitic. So it's, but they've got a lot of injuries. They've got Alejandro Gomez is out injured, Alex Telles is out injured, Jesus Corona is out injured, Karim Rekit's out injured, and Marcal he's doubtful, but yeah. And then
Marcal's mid-March on mine.
Is he? Well, he's rated doubtful, but he's got a hamstring injury. But he can, like you said, he could be out for hamstring injuries. They are a bit. You don't want to take a risk on a hamstring injury in case it snaps. That's the thing.
If you're not 100%, you can't play.
Exactly. So how do you see this one going? Sevilla versus PSV.
I think that PSV will pinch this one by a goal, I think. Just on current form. PSV, they aren't on the best of form themselves. They're like in 4th in the Eredivisie. They've only got 3 wins out of the last 6 games. But I have watched Sevilla a bit more than PSV.
Yeah.
And they, even though they're winning, they're not been doing it like you said about the one the weekend. They're not doing it convincingly.
Yeah.
Like it's a 1-0 or a 2-1 or something like that. I think they had one against Elche not long ago where they won 3-0, but Elche are bottom of the league, so you'd expect them to win that.
Plus, it should be called the Europa League. It should be called the Sevilla Trophy because they're the multi-winners of this trophy.
Yeah.
Which it seems to be this is when they come good. So you never know. It could be one of those games that this Sevilla team, this could be their spring platform to maybe boost themselves in their own league form with a wee bit of European success as well.
Well, you've seen it before, haven't you? Real Madrid last year, for example. They have a massive history in the Champions League. Even though nobody thought that they'd go on and win it, they went on and done the unthinkable and won the Champions League. So having a history in the competition can be massive.
And our last, but certainly no means least game, we have got an interesting one between Juventus and Nantes of France, Ligue 1. How do you think this one will go, King? Because this one's got a wee bit of, obviously with the news regarding about Juventus, what's happening with them in their own league, getting points deducted off them. This is a massive chance for them to win something in Europe this season in the Europa League. How do you think this one will go?
I think Juve have definitely got enough to see off Nantes. I know they've got some injuries. Bonucci, Milic, Moretti, Cuadrado, Caio Jorge, Paul Pogba and Mohamed Ittiharian are all out. Yeah. But they have enough, like Vlahovic and stuff like that in there. This is probably their best chance of a trophy this season because they're not going to win Serie A. They've obviously been knocked out of the Champions League. Them, Barcelona, Man U, Arsenal, these teams are probably the favourites for the competition. So they need to be, if I was the Juve manager or the Juve team, this game is sort of like, can we set out a marker? Can we send a message to the other teams that we, get a nice, decent big win over the 2 legs? And let's say we're not messing about, you know what I mean? But I definitely see them going through this one. I don't even think Juve can mess that up. No offense to Nantes, by the way, because they're not a bad side, but
definitely. I think this is probably going to be like you said, this is last chance to win for Juve winning a trophy this season. So they might just go full steam ahead and try and win something. But it's got an interesting game, and I'm going to say Juve comfortably 3-0 against Nantes on Thursday night.
Yeah, with them being at home, definitely. I could even see it being 4 or 5 if they get the early goal or whatever. Definitely. There's no reason. There's no reason they can't go and do that. So,
well, thank you very much for tuning in tonight, guys. King, where can we find you on your socials?
You can find me on Twitter at FmKing. You can find me on Twitch, FmKing007. Or you can find me here on the Football Nation podcast. Or if I'm not here, I'll be on the Road to Legends draft competition.
Thank you very much, King. And you can find me here at the Football Nation podcast or on Twitter at Chris_Watt89. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight. We'll see you next time.